We showered after finishing up. Honestly, I wanted to shower together with her, but I figured it was too outlandish of a request for now. All done. If only she was still naked. What's up? Yu-chan was sitting up on her knees on the bed, staring down at the sheets. Oh really? I never would have guessed. It's not like I fucking called that shit out. Oh, don't worry about it. They'll wash out. I'm not changing them. No. Definitely not. I don't know why he used white sheets. Probably should have switched out to red ones for that one moment, you know? Oh, the blood. I approached the bed and saw multiple dried splotches and some blood as well. It was visible proof of the raw dirty sex that happened on this bed. I sat down on the bed and Yu-chan moved next to me, no longer on her knees. She scooted right up against me and rested her head on my shoulder. Yeah. Yeah, I know. We spoke, both facing forward, without making eye contact. Just being next to her put me at ease, feeling her warmth against me. Although it wasn't as though I hadn't been feeling her warmth all night. I nodded. Of course it would be a little embarrassing that we both got naked and made sweaty love. Knew what? Yeah. She was my neighbor since I was born. Yet now we had become one. It wasn't strange that I had a crush on her, that I had a crush on her for so long, but to have it come this far was a little... It was a little inevitable. It was inevitable. You're a fucking arrogant protagonist. Yu-chan was mumbling to herself, seemingly overwhelmed with emotion. Yeah, me too. We finally looked into one another's eyes, and we kissed. It was vastly different from before. A gentle, slow kiss. One that would let us savor this ephemeral moment. Well, I was surprised too. Yeah, you're so beautiful, and your body's so sexy. I thought he was gonna comment on her tits. And being like, your tits are so much bigger. Hee hee. Ha ha ha. We both turned bright red and giggled stupidly. We had been friends and neighbors since we were born. And now that we had crossed the line, a renewed sense of affection and familiarity existed between us. Why is it? What the fuck? 625. Why the fuck did it fade out to white? And the next day, once our eyes met under the morning sun, the embarrassment was still palpable. It was like we couldn't keep eye contact when we spoke. But since Yu-chan mostly talked with the other girls on the way to school, it wasn't weird for me to keep quiet. So I took the chance. I stared at her at the previous night's events, replaying in my mind. Don't you dare fucking... I mean, I really touched it with my hand. I didn't just see what was beneath that skirt. We were intimately joined there. And that was just such an amazing thing. A beautiful girl like her under her clothes. Just imagining it was enough to send me into a daze, sending my mind toward dark horizons. So good. I may have been undressing her with my eyes, but I didn't feel guilty in the slightest. Love ruled my thoughts. My love for her had grown exponentially after having sex with her. It might have been a pragmatic perspective, but it was undeniable. It was the undeniable truth. Look, all I'm going to say is, he wasn't like this with the other girls. All right, he wasn't like this with Luna. He wasn't like this with Karen. He wasn't like this with Yorihime, especially since Yorihime had the longest head scene. He wasn't like this with Julie. I guess Julie makes sense because he was fucking dead right after they had sex, but that's beside the point. He didn't look at her like this while walking to school, alright? Yuna invited me to eat lunch outside with her. We usually ate with the other girls, but just the two of us was nice for a change.
今日、ゆうくんの視線、すっごい感じちゃったな。
I knew she was gonna fucking comment on it. Oh, so you knew?
当然です。だって私、もう子供じゃないんだし。
No, you're 18.
でも、あれだね。なんていうか、前からゆうくんに注目してもらうの、全然嫌ではなかったんだけど。
Yeah, now you get horny from it.
今はなんかこう、女子としての誇りまで感じるというか。
I didn't think she would say pride, but sure. Maybe that's all because you're not a kid anymore.
そういうことかもね。
Yu-chan stuck out her tongue and laughed mischievously.
ゆうくんがこう、私を見ていることに気がつくでしょ？そうすると私は、ゆうくんがまた求めているんだわ。
Oh god, she's been corrupted. She brought her hands together and squirmed embarrassingly, but she kind of overdid it. Yeah, she overdid it to the point where they was fucking animation. It doesn't pick up. I couldn't believe we had already wandered into such lewd territory, and at this time of day, even if it was only us here. But it was a blast chatting about stuff like this. We had already bared everything to one another, and that allowed us to explore such mature subject matter. Oh, right. I meant to ask you earlier, but are you okay? Does your body hurt at all? Her sly grin vanished, and she turned away with genuine embarrassment.
辛くはないんだけど。
It's still warm. What is it?
まだ、ゆうくんがいるような気がする。
That too.
それで、歩き方もちょっと変になっていたみたいで、めぐみに、足手も痛いの、なんて言われちゃった。
Oh, I see.
一言で言えば、違和感。
Yu-chan touched her stomach,
でもそれが全然嫌ではないんだよね。
She blushed and smiled softly. I realized how making love was such a special thing. Did your dad find out when you went in and out of the house, like when you went in and out of the house so late?
多分大丈夫だと思う。
Yeah, also, why would she want to know if he knew? Okay, good. Even if he knew about our relationship, other people shouldn't be privy to our private life. Yeah, shouldn't be privy to a second year's private life. Oh wait, no, they were 18, guys. They're 18.
そういえば、ゆうくんは大丈夫？期末テスト。
I froze midway, bringing the next bite of food to my mouth.
その反応、実は私も同じなんだ。
Yu-chan anxiously twirled her hair. What, really? But you're usually the top student in the class. She's a bit too busy preoccupied with the thoughts of sex. You've corrupted her, and now she's gonna get lower grades.
だってしょうがないよ。
She whined as she pouted.
ゆうくんと恋人になったんだし、勉強も手につかないよ。
Oh, I had the same problem, although I was never much of a bookworm to begin with. Still, it was my first time ever legitimately forgetting about the tests entirely. This could only mean...
それに、キスとかしたりもして。
Again, it was the same for me.
ゆうくんのせいだ。
My fault, huh? But dang, what to do? I scratched my head. I doubt you'll run into trouble, but if I don't try hard, I might have to attend summer school.
平気だよ、きっと。
She brushed it off, but I was honestly perturbed. Students who didn't pass the tests were forced to attend makeup study sessions over summer. To make matters worse, it was a full week session. Oh, well, can you make me study then? Help me study then? At night or something?
いいよ。
And then it would transition to sex. That's how the dojins do it. You're a lifesaver. If I could have Yu-chan teach me, I would at least manage to secure an average grade. That's what I was thinking, at least. But I say, I fucking told you. We didn't even open our textbooks.
Thank you.
Just like the dojins.
しないと。
Yeah, I know. Yet Yu-chan feverishly shoved her tongue into my mouth, her breath hot and heavy. Oh, so it's her fault. I was the one who asked for her help, so I needed to be the responsible one. Yeah, but like, you know...
ゆうか。あんまり続けてると。私。
Surely there won't be another hate scene so quickly. It's only been 14 minutes. Yeah. Studying wasn't the reason that made me stop in the end. Although I wasn't exactly opposed to the feeling she was talking about. But it had only been a day. Her body hadn't recovered. So I was thinking we needed to lay off for a while. A little while. Okay, let's study. I finally opened my notebook and faced my textbook. But before long... Okay, bro. This is getting out of hand, okay? After not even 10 minutes, we were already back at it. $6:28. Guys, I don't think they studied. The only thing they studied were each other's bodies. I wasn't pausing because I was trying to think of what to say. I was pausing because I was wondering if I should say it. But after about 3 days at that study pace, I started kicking myself. The test started Monday. I had made no progress and panic was setting in. Yu-chan, I'm going to study alone today.
そうしてもらえるかな
It looks like I don't have much self-control. Dang.
それを言ったら私もね
Yeah. But I'm the one who's asking for your help. And I think the guy should know when to pull back during times like this.
そういうものなの
Well, guys, urges are a lot stronger. Are you sure about that? It didn't seem like she understood me. I guess it was understandable. It wasn't like I could put myself in her shoes. I didn't know what it was like to be a girl, but common sense said as much, I think.
でも私も好きになっちゃったけどなあれ
Is your body back to normal? Ah, so this is the incentive. If you study well, you can have sex. Yu-chan suddenly jumped forward and started skipping, energetically taking large steps. I could see your underwear. And then she rotated her hips like she was spinning an invisible hula hoop. It looked bizarre even to me. When she apparently finished, she stood next to me.
まだ少し
Oh? When you're all better then, okay?
そういえばゆうくん今日はどうする
What are you getting at?
バイト
What do you mean?
だってバイトしていたらその分勉強の時間が取れなくなっちゃうから
Oh, but I can't just skip, right? Suzuki's not around either.
それなんだけど本当は二人でも回せないことはないんだよ
Yeah, I don't know why you're acting like it's the end of the world. It's not like they've... The only reason... You only started working there after Suzuki came back. So, like, they've been the only two working there for a while. Like, you know... You can.
だってもともとは二人で始めたお店なんだし
Well, no, you probably should bring up, you know, when Suzuki got injured. It's not like Yuta was working... It's not like Yuta was working there while she was injured. But, I looked out over the ocean, and then despite knowing it was a lame excuse for consoling her, it continued. But since he opened, droves of customers have started coming.
だといいんだけど
I know they have. But if possible, could I get some time off? I'm freaking out here.
私からお父さんに言っておくよ
Thanks.
あとテスト期間中もする勉強
Obviously. All that is gonna save me.
そういうことならお勉強放課後の学校でしようか
At school?
学校ならさすがにチューとかできないと思うし
Okay. First of all, I beg to differ. Second of all, That's the biggest stereotype. School sex in an empty classroom is literally what Luna did. Wait. Yeah, no. It was the second H scene of the game? It was one of the firsts. It was oh, yeah. I gotcha.
あと、テスト期間中はお昼で終わるから、私もしばらくなら付き合えるし。
Yeah, okay. Can I get you to help? All I'm gonna say is, I'm not surprised if I look at Hitomi La, which is where I get fucking thumbnails and shit sometimes, and see Yuna in her school uniform. Alright? You're a lifesaver. I knew then that everything would be okay. Until it isn't. 7-4. The finals were from Monday to Friday. I have really got my butt into gear over the weekend, so I felt like I scrounged up a win on Monday. Then right after, Yu-chan helped me cram on the tests on Tuesday.
円の方程式は中心と半径がわかる場合は基本形があって。
Just the two of us studying so hard together, it made us seem so much like a couple. Well, everyone was well aware anyway. Firmly in our own world, we sat face to face, studying hard together. Well, more like she was walking me through everything. Finally, the last day of studying for tests.
ゆうくん、本番は明日だよ。
Yeah, I know, but... I cracked my neck and uttered a weird groan. I rarely study like this every day, so I was totally beat.
肩が凝ってるの？
No, it's not that. I tried to deny it, but she quickly went around behind my chair.
じゃあ、肩を揉んであげまーす。
Oh. Grip. Oh, that feels great.
よくお父さんにしてあげてるからね。
You're so nice, you know that. I've never done anything for my parents.
ゆうくんだけのサービスもしてあげたりして。
No. A special service? Not at school. Oh. I let out a strange moan. Something soft pressed into the center of my back. That's nice. Of course, her firm grip on my shoulder felt good. She roughly pressed her boobs into my back, as if she was getting aroused herself. No shit, you haven't done it in a while, even without anyone around. That's a bold move on her part. But all this week, just an hour after the tests were finished, I didn't see anyone near the classroom. Maybe that's why Yu-chan was letting herself get carried away. Maybe that's why the writers... Never mind. Yu-chan, if you keep that up, I'm gonna get hard.
立つって、おちんちん？
She whispered it into my ear, and I got goosebumps. Yeah. What's with that voice?
あのね、ゆうくん。私、もう完全に違和感が消えたんだ。体の。だから。
What did I fucking tell you? I spun my head around and found her lips.
ゆうくん。ここ。教室。
Yeah, I know. Yu-chan's body stiffened in surprise. I swooped my hand around her back, preventing her escape. Succumbing to my eager display, she bent over and gave herself over to the kiss. I was getting a little, or rather, really carried away now. For one, I was unhinged after studying for what seemed like an eternity. You mean you were pent up? But the lack of intimacy played a bigger role, and I was at my limit. I felt the urge to throw her down and ravage her building inside. Okay, yeah. The urge to throw her down and ravage her was building inside, with no consideration of our location. Haha, no way, seriously. No way, seriously? I'm like, totally serious. There's a name to the text box. There's no voice. Who? Oh. So what happened to him? I mean, he was just doing it the whole time, running the train. What is that voice? What? I was trying to do like Valiol, but like not too loud. I don't know. Their footsteps were getting closer. Oh yeah, let's hide in the cleaning locker. Great idea. Great idea. That's definitely not somewhere. I jumped up and it felt like my erect censored. Would break in half. Ow, ow, ow. I enjoyed it and hobbled like a penguin to the corner of the class. But wouldn't they arrest someone for that? I know, right? That's what I was thinking. Dang, they're so close. I opened the closet door and turned around to see Yu-chan sprinting the other way. What's she doing? She was scrambling to collect the scattered stuff we had left on the desk. What a good idea. So, how did the other guy react? Oh, oh yeah, he was just so... Come on. She was booking it toward me, the book's almost falling out of her hands. I stuffed her and our things inside, and the second I closed the door, I heard the girls enter the room. It was so funny when they made eye contact. Yeah. Huh? Wait, did you hear something? I don't know the voices I'm doing for them. Nah, I don't know. Maybe it was my imagination. What a spacious closet. Fit 2 people and their stuff? I can't believe it. We made it by the skin of our teeth. Wait a sec. Why did we even need to hide in the first place? Maybe you should have asked that before you hid in the closet. Now it's going to look even more suspicious if you leave it. Yu-chan peeked out from a crack in the door. It's so spacious they can actually move. We messed up bad. If we had just calmly stayed in our seats, they would have just seen a couple studying, nothing more. But if we suddenly popped out of the locker, we would have no alibi. Yeah, exactly. Stop giving me fucking lines to say. Want to go to to the Kapora sale tomorrow? Oh, sure. We'll be done with tests. I hope they're not here too. I hope they're not here too long. Yeah, me neither. The thought of waging a war of attrition in this cramped space made me dizzy. Cramped? Yeah, sure. It was July now, and it was starting to get hot in here already. but at least I was in here with Yu-chan, so it wasn't uncomfortable. It was the opposite, really.
あー、ゆうくん。おちんちん押し付けたりしたら、ダメだよ。
How stereotypical. Huh? Sorry, I wasn't trying to...
そんな。
Listen, I was trying to find the word when they brought up the closet, and I didn't really and then when I found the word, I didn't really have time to actually say it where it was relevant, so I just said it now. We just barged in here haphazardly, so her leg was right up against my crotch. Oh, so they're like sideways facing the front, the door, I guess.
やだ。すごく硬い。
Hey, don't move your leg so much. Her soft exposed thigh rubbed right against my tip, and it actually felt amazing. ゆう
くん。どうしてますます大きくさせているの？
Well, I can't help it. You're just pushing against it.
グリグリっておちんちん押し付けちゃダメ。
Go. Oh no, I was feeling really good.
すごい。服の上でも形わかる。
Was she purposefully grinding my leg against my censored? It was a little dark inside the locker, so I couldn't be sure, but she looked a bit horny. You don't say. Her body heat and breath was heating up our environment. Oh man, I'm starting to get funny ideas. Really, fucking Christ. I could feel reason starting to ebb away. My censored was bulging, as if it was draining the blood from my brain. Oh, can you move your leg?
この中狭くて。
Well, that's the point. That was obvious. People weren't meant to reside in here, after all. And definitely not two. It's getting so hot in here. Never mind, I'm not going to say that. She trailed off, and this time she purposefully pressed against my censored. Oh. Go. I almost moaned. I gritted my teeth to suppress it. Damn, at this rate, where... Oh, right, I should just try and move myself. I forced my hips back a little, and managed to kneel. I kneel. Oh, sorry. I was sorry I had to, but I used Yu-chan's leg as support, so I didn't fall. How would you fall in this closet? I wonder why they're fading to black. It's not like they're gonna transition to a CG, are they? Shh, it's just because the closet's so dark, you know? Even though there's slits in the door so that you can see through. Never mind. What? Did you hear someone's voice? I don't think so. Didn't you ask that before too? A new ghost? No, nothing like that. They got back to their chat. I hope they don't chat for long. That was close. I breathed a sigh of relief and looked up. And I waited until I recovered slightly, then helped Yu-chan get her clothes on. You could change into your PE clothes instead. Right. That's what I was thinking about before. I threw the door open and stumbled out, panting for air. The cool, dry air refreshed us. I took in gulps of precious oxygen. That was so good, but so rough. You could go change now. Yu-chan turned around with concern. The inside of the locker was a mess, and the floor was soaked. I'll clean it up. You want to hurry and change your underwear, right? I hastily cleaned up, and we made a clean escape from the classroom building. We avoided being seen all the way through the main gate, and both took a deep breath once we were out. It wasn't like if anyone saw us, they would be like, "Oh, it's those two that were just banging in the classroom," though. But still, we weren't exactly composed enough to be seen by anyone. Yeah, and to be confusing. People would question why Yuna would be in her PE clothes, considering, they just did tests, not physical ones, except for the ones that they did except for the private physical tests that they did in the locker, in the closet. If we had run into someone we knew, we'd have been as red as tomatoes. She's still in her normal school clothes. Like, look, there's a reason why. This is for the Patreon, mainly for the Patreon. This is why I was complaining about giving the fucking choice of coming in her or not. Because guess what happened when he came in her? It came out of her. It was on her fucking clothes. And then no, it's fine because he missed her clothes, which he didn't, by the way. Especially because of this. If you saw from the CG, like I said, this is for the Patreon. You saw in the CG, it was on the fucking clothes. Stop skipping through this shit. I'm not even touching the trackpad. I was just thinking the same thing. Yu-chan looked over her shoulder, saw the school was getting further away, and breathed a sigh of relief. So what I'm saying is, she would have had to change her shirt as well. Right? But no, he missed her clothes somehow. Yeah, if it was one of our friends or something. Especially because the other three, aka Yuta's friends, they don't have voices, so they can't gossip about it. Yeah. We really did compliment each other. Speak of the devil. I wasn't expecting this. Oops. Don't worry about it. They definitely didn't have sex at school, and definitely didn't do it while there were 2 other girls in the classroom, and they were doing it in the locker, in the closet, and then the 2 girls went up to the closet and tried to open the door because they heard a sound, and, you know...
はっは。さては。
Gulp. I mean...
イチャイチャと手でもつなぎながら歩いてたんでしょう。この道を。
Oh, how innocent. Well, I don't know.
なんか変な反応。まあ、いいけど。
Yeah, it's not like you had sex in the school or anything, right? You know, why are you wearing your PE shorts?
どこから出てきたの？めぐみは。どっからって人を虫みたいに。海よ、海。ああ。ほら、あそこでお尻カチカチダンス踊ってる。いかにも生意気そうな男の子。あれ、うちの弟。海水浴に連れてきてあげたのよ。ああ。
That's nice of you.
どうも。
Shibuya looked at Yu-chan, then suddenly tilted her head.
ユーナ、ちょっと汗臭いよ。
Is that really the only thing she reeks of? Nothing else? Nothing that would smell even stronger than sweat? I guess she wouldn't know. She hasn't gone to her brother's room. She doesn't know.
ダメだな、ギャルが。しかも隣に彼氏がいるっていうのに。
So she can smell Yuna's sweat, but not Yuta's. Gotcha. Yu-chan looked like she wanted to shrink herself and run away. The one who made her sweat so much was her own boyfriend. I guess. I can't even use the excuse of... Oh, probably knows what Yuna smells like when she's sweating because they do PE together. Because, like, sweat is sweat. Sweat just smells like salty water. And even then, it doesn't really smell that like much. Sheesh! How's that for a Cartman impression?
ああ、もう。うるさいな。じゃあ、私はもう行くね。じゃあね。汗臭いって言われちゃった。ごめんね。住める女で。
Yeah, right. As if you stink. You emit a magical floral aroma. Yeah, okay.
そんな。
I don't think that's her sweat. I think that's just her BO. No, really. It must be what separates the guys from the girls. Plus, it's my fault that you got sweaty in the first place.
そうだよ。
She pursed her lips angrily.
私も本当に焦っちゃった。ところで。
Yeah, I definitely didn't call it. And then definitely didn't call it again when they went into the locker. Closet. I keep saying locker. It's a fucking closet. I had no excuse to give, so I just bowed my head.
明日、学校に行ったら、それだけで赤くなっちゃいそう。
Yeah, then opening the locker to clean the room. She started getting red again, just thinking about it.
なんか、おかしくなっちゃう。
Don't tempt Yuta with a good time. Yu-chan seemed to be in a good mood, despite her angry facade. Well, you didn't get caught, so... I was relieved to see that, although it probably wasn't prudent to act on sexual desires so recklessly. He says this now. 7-5. Yeah, say it after you do it instead of before. The next day. We arrived in front of class and just kind of stared at each other.
あら、どうしたの？ドアの前で立ち止まってしまって。
Entering the classroom was such a routine act, but both of us hesitated. We kind of looked at each other and silently decided to enter on the count of 3, and then we were inside. As expected, both of us were blushing already. It's over. I was free from the clutches of finals. Yesterday evening, she had walked me through the material. We took it seriously, and I somehow made it through the test. Well, yeah, you weren't making out the whole time because you already fucking came in her twice.
お疲れ様。
You too. You're probably the reason I won't find myself on the summer school list. Thanks. The students in charge of classroom cleanup each day was decided by the order of our names on the roll sheet. Homeroom was over, and our teacher grabbed the roll sheet. Yeah, I wonder who it's gonna be.
では今日の掃除当番は斉藤くん、進藤くん、白羽さん、曽根さん、以上ですね。
No way. I never would have guessed that Yuna would be one of them. I hope she doesn't get in the mood like she said I mean...
急に赤い顔をして、白羽さん、どうかしました？
Oh, this is a good excuse. Just say you're sick. Yeah, you're not feeling too good. She suddenly had the whole class's eyes on her and got even redder. Even the usually drowsy Oichi was a little surprised, but he didn't pry any further. I waited in the hall for them to be finished. My girlfriend came out after about 15 minutes. All done? She took a huge gulp of air, like she had been underwater the whole time. I heartily chuckled. Of course, that was enough to explain how I felt. Yu-chan shot me a lukewarm look, and like me, used that to indicate how she felt. She stretched her arms high above her head, like a switch had been turned on inside of her. Don't... Phrasing, Yuta. That could also be a euphemism for horny. For horny. People around looked at us with raised eyebrows as we chuckled randomly. I couldn't have cared less about their opinion of us though. You, maybe. Yuna's the fucking idol of her restaurant. Of her dad's restaurant, so like, any reputation drop to her could affect the business. Poorly affect the business. We laughed out loud for a while, and finally settled down. It felt like we were trying to shake off residual embarrassment by laughing.
おかしかった？
She wiped under her eyes. Did you manage to actually clean?
ロッカー開けた瞬間はもうたまらない気持ちになっちゃったけど、あとはちゃんとできたと思う。
Well, good.
なんか頭がふわふわしちゃって、もしかしたら吹き残しがあったかもしれないけどね。
She stuck out her tongue playfully. It was my first day back to work in a while. Sorry I took so much time off.
いやまあ学生の本分は学業だからね。 それで試験は無事通過できそうなのかい？
Yeah, passed. Yuna probably aced them, but yes, I think everything's okay. Thanks to Yu-chan helping me.
そりゃよかった。
He's not even like, do you think you got good grades? It's like, do you think you did the bare minimum? My eyes kept drifting over to Yu-chan as I worked. It had been like that since I started, and I just couldn't seem to break the habit. In fact, it had worsened, likely because of the huge change in our relationship. Come on, don't think about that stuff during work. Especially since they did it twice before Yuta went back to work. Like always, there were a lot of male customers for a sweets shop, that is. Of course, all those male customers had their eyes on the poster girl. But that's pretty amazing when you think about it. Even with idol-like looks, better in fact, she was honestly just a normal girl. She's a bit self-deprecating. Not a good way, you know. Yet, even to see that normal girl, there were a bunch of guys gathered here. And that girl who's so popular with the guys, she's all mine. I wanted to break out in a little dance.
ありがとうございました。
And when she's working, she's even cuter. Was I a weirdo for staring and grinning like this? No, right? No. It's only weird if you weren't dating her. That's just how cute her uniform was. Of course, the girl wearing it too. Let's hope you don't, you know. Let's hope you don't pull a Miyako and have her wear her uniform during a H scene, like Miyako had to in the last H scene of 99 episode 1, you know?
ほら、仕事中はぼやっとしないようにな。
It's kind of hard for him to do, you know? I'm sorry.
ま、気持ちはわかるがね。どっちもまだ若いもんな。
I bowed my head in apology.
でも、俺は本当良かったと思うんだよね。
What do you mean?
二人が付き合うことになってさ。
Oh, him saying it like it was something new made me like it was something new made my mind drift elsewhere.
きっとそのいい影響だが、あの子も前に比べて明るくなったからね。
He mumbled to himself and smiled as he looked at her. Oh, but I think she's always been a cheery girl. Yu-chan.
はあ、まあ、そうだけどさ。
He smiled with slight discomfort and pretended to work. I knew something else was on his mind, but I decided not to ask. As long as it's not anything related to sex, you know? Let's hope he never asks that. Let's hope he never asks if you did anything to Yuna, you know? Or if Yuna's ever done anything with you. 7-7. Hey, that's my dad's birthday. And this, I was gonna bring up something about how this is the first time. This is a first for MML, because other than like Julie and Adrienne, Yuna and Yuna's dad are kind of like the only two. Yuna's dad is like the only parent that's close to Yuna that actually is living with Yuna, right? What am I saying? It's like, okay, you've got Luna's parents are in another world. You've got Yorihime's parents, Karen's parents, they're in another world. Karen's mom is dead, but that's beside the point. right? Julie's parents are both here, right? But she's kind of she's kind of like the exception, because there's no awkwardness in the fact that there would be no awkwardness in Adrienne and Oishi finding out that Julie had sex with Yuta, especially because Adrienne kept wanting her to have sex with Yuta. But, you know, that was only... Well, Adrienne wanted Julie to have sex regardless, but, you know, that's why I'm bringing up Yuna's dad, because then it would be awkward, right? Of them talking about it. You know, we had basically spent all of last week studying, so it was finally time to go on a date. And this was the destination. Oh, thank God, I was hoping to see her in her swimsuit. Never mind, she's never going to be in a swimsuit. Yeah, it is. It had been hot since morning, which likely explained all the people. Until today, we had forced ourselves to ignore the excitement down on the beach on the way to school. Well, it wasn't like I was dying to swim. I just wanted to come with you, Chan. Listen, you've been coming with you, Chan, quite a bit. But that's only for the Patreon. Well, duh. Yes, that's why you should wear a swimsuit. No, it's fine. I don't think it's worth worrying about. No, don't say it's fine. I want to see Yuna in a swimsuit. Yu-chan wasn't much of a swimmer, so we were just gonna play in the wet sand and ebbing waves. We didn't need swimsuits for that. People might think it was weird if it was just me, though. Like, I was just here to scope out girls or something. Yeah, and that's why you should wear one. I mean... No, not really. I don't really care either way. He doesn't care because he hasn't seen Yuna in it. In one. It'd be a different story if you were the one wearing it. Totally different. Oh, so he's aware that it would be different if Yuna wore it. Would you be embarrassed? She held up her arm and squeezed under her bicep, like when we changed to our short school uniforms. Short-sleeved school uniforms, you mean? I think your body puts all these other girls to shame, though. Who talks like that? I don't think there's any point in imagining her naked. Yeah, that's Yuta's job. Although I can imagine you naked. Okay, sure. I purposefully shot her a lewd look and slowly inched toward her. Stop it. He wasn't totally off the mark. What the heck were we talking about? Come on, let's go. I took her hand and started walking. I led us over to where there were less people. Like before, we approached the edge of the waves. The edge where the waves washed on shore. Wow. Yeah, wow. This is a nice temperature. Yu-chan stretched her arms above her head as she gazed out over the horizon. The coastal winds danced through her beautiful hair. She looked even cuter than normal, standing beneath the shining summer sun.
もうちょっと進んでもいい？
Sure. We walked cautiously about up to our knees. Being in the ocean in our regular clothes was a weird sight. I bet people thought we were nuts. Yeah, that's why you should have been wearing swimsuits.
スカート濡れちゃうかなあ、ゆうくんはもうずぶ濡れか。
Meh. I'll dry off soon.
こんな風にすれば。
She grabbed her skirt and lifted it up a little. It was short enough as it was, but now you're gonna flash me.
気分はわけめちゃん。
What's that supposed to mean? Yu-chan's thighs were wide enough to make my eyes widen. They weren't a sickly pale, but more of a vibrant, healthy gloss. And it shines so beautifully in the sun. Right. It's because you're so white to begin with.
何が？
When you're under the bright sun like this, you look even cuter. I was just thinking that.
そうです？
She looked politely in her bashfulness. Yeah, totally. Maybe you shouldn't be out in the sun too long.
ああ、一応日焼け止めは塗ってきたから。
Well, then, we should be fine for a while.
ほんと、泳がなくても気持ちいいもん。
Yu-chan's smile was as vibrant as her skin.
でも今年はちゃんとやろうかな。水泳の授業。
You weren't trying before.
手を抜いたり。でも、サボったりはしなかったよ。うん。
She was a diligent student, so I at least knew she wouldn't ditch. When you learn how to swim, let's return next year, okay?
そうしましょう。こんな気持ちのいい海が家の近くにあって、泳がないなんてほんともったいないもんね。
Yeah, huh. I had been living nearby my whole life, but I had never felt that way even once. I had just never swam in the ocean, really, but it wasn't like I couldn't swim or anything. Now that there's someone by my side, yeah, that was clear to me now.
濡れてもいいなら水遊びしよっか。
Sure. Swoosh, swash. I nodded without thinking, but then realized what she meant. Am I supposed to counterattack now?
ほらほら、ゆうくんも遠慮しないで。
Yeah. Sound effects.
かかると冷たいね。
Oh, her bra might become see-through. I tried my best not to splash around her waist.
ゆうくん、もっとかけてよ。
Your bra's gonna become see-through.
そっか。
Another reason they should have worn swimsuits. She just became aware of that and looked down at her wet clothes. I figured a girl like her would be worried about that from the start, but I was wrong. You could be so carefree sometimes.
でも、ダメかな。
Like I said, you just corrupted her. As long as there's no one around.
残念。これはやっぱり真面目に練習して来年こそは泳げるようになっておかないと。
Yeah, do it.
楽しみだね。来年。
She smiled happily at the thought. She was quiet and she was quite the free spirit, thinking about returning to the ocean next year while standing in it. Of course, that part of her was charming too.